So how do you sell your property with no real estate agent? Is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible, but you need to understand how to approach it if you want to do it successfully and not damage yourself physically, financially, emotionally, socially. So let's get started with the top 20 things to remember how to sell your house without a real estate agent. And it's pretty simple. You need to clean your house for real. Surface cleaning is not allowed. That's a bunch of nonsense. So you're going to put your property out for sale. You should put the property's best foot forward. So please do a deep clean. And sometimes your definition of clean may not be the same definition of clean as the potential buyer of your property. So I always tell people to think about they're going into a very high-end furniture store. And that'll help frame your reference. I'll use that example as we go through this. And you want to declutter the house. Even if you need to hire a professional organizer, you want to make it feel open and clean. If you've ever walked into a restoration hardware, if you've ever walked into a model home, into a neighborhood for sale, if you have ever gone into a Pier 1 before it closed, if you've ever gone into a West Elm, you know what I'm talking about. It feels very clean, very organized. They actually sell shelves. So of course they're going to have the books organized. They're going to have the towels organized. They're going to have everything looking like a hotel the day you check in a luxury hotel. You want your property to feel that way because you only get one chance at a showing to make a first impression. And that's what you want to do. You want to fix anything that's an easy fix. I'm not asking you to go out and spend a ton of money, but a doorknob should not be loose, okay? Air filters drive me crazy when they're dirty in properties. And let me tell you why. If I see a dirty air filter, all I can think about is how poorly the HVAC air conditioning system has been maintained. So why would you not clean out the air filters and put in new air filters before you have people come in? And then the people actually change their filters and don't vacuum the grate. So vacuum the grate, put in a new air filter, make it look nice, get the cobwebs out the corner. This is next level cleaning. This is cleaning places you don't typically clean. The back of fan blades on ceiling fans. Think big here and get other people to look at it because you may be too close to the property. That's typically the problem with sellers no matter what. They're too close to the property because they see it every single day and they don't even know that they've got a light bulb out here and there over a mirror. But it makes a difference when somebody comes to buy the property. My favorite here is the Mr. Green Scrubby, Mr. Clean Scrubby. I don't know, it's the bald guy from Mr. Clean. It's the white scrubby brush, right, that you use to take away marks and scuffs. That's perfect for your staircase where maybe your shoes have bumped it over the years. Get that and wipe it off. Now, I'm not talking go heavy elbow grease hard on it because you don't want to damage the paint coat on your walls. So it will take some level of gloss off of paint if you're not careful. So test an area that you don't care about and make sure that it actually is not going to damage your walls. And once you realize it's successful, you give it time for it to dry and all that, then put it up your rails, up your handrails of your staircase, maybe around your front door, out your bathrooms, things like that. You want it to look really great. Get your old closing package from when you purchased the property and use that information to get all of your flyer ready so that you can put it out on your sign, which we'll talk about, and that you can use that information for marketing purposes. There's so many ways for you to take that information, for you to take those pictures and put them in your next door when you're in your neighborhood. Let your neighbors know. Send an email to all of your personal contacts and says, hey guys, we're going to try to sell our property privately without a real estate agent. Please help us get the word out. Craigslist, things like that. But get that information from your closing package and make a really professional flyer in your word processor on your computer. It just will help you do a better job. And you can use it to screen people that you don't really even want to come through your property. Now, if you're okay with spending some money, I always recommend you get it appraised by a licensed appraisal. I mean, if you're not willing to spend a few $100, I understand you're trying to avoid real estate commissions. I totally get that. But things will probably come up at some point in time that are relevant to you, like the value of your home as appraised or the way that the property inspects. So go ahead and buy a home inspection. Go ahead and buy an appraisal if you don't mind spending a little bit of money, and then you'll know what you're getting into. Now, you don't have to do that, but it's a recommendation. And I think if you're going to spend a few bucks, get the right information so that you can stand on that later. It will really help you. And then you need to decide once you get your home inspection or after you investigate your property personally, you go around top, bottom, attic, under the house, everything. You need to decide if you're going to fix stuff or if you don't want to do that. If you need to not lift a finger and you need to sell quickly, then just offer some sort of cash incentive instead of that, right? So if you know your property needs $2,000 of repairs, that $2,000 worth of repairs may not have any value to the buyer. They might not even care. So you could say, I'll offer you $1,000 of cash instead of you asking me to do anything. And then put your sign in the yard. That's a very important strategy. It's a pretty basic strategy, but make sure that this neighborhood that you're living in, if you have an HOA, a homeowners association, make sure that the sign is compliant so that you don't get a fine. You don't want that. And then I always like to do the little tube that you can even buy at Lowe's or Home Depot, that you can slide your flyer into the sign, attach it, and that people can come up to the sign and take away the flyer. This is a screening method that you don't want somebody coming into your property that's not qualified, or they don't think they can afford it, or they don't really value what you're trying to sell. It's a good way to keep them away from even coming to the property. It's important that you always keep your front doors and all your doors locked if you're going to sell privately, right? Because some people might just come knock on the door at any point in time. You'd be shocked at things that we've seen in this business. So just make sure your property is secure, and hope that they just take a flyer, and the real qualified people that are seriously interested will give you a call. I've had people literally knock up the doors and try to make an offer like immediately. And if you're not prepared for that, lock your doors and say, I'm sorry, come back when you make an appointment, or please contact me on the sign. And that's what you have to do. You have to coach people. Decide how you want to hear from them. Do you want them to call your phone? Then go ahead and give your phone number on the sign. Do you want them to text you? Then do that. If you don't really want to get a phone call to your private cell for the future, then set up a Google Voice number for free, or just say, hey, please email this address. You can even create a new email just for this purpose for free. You want to screen the interested parties to make sure that they're serious. Now, don't be combative with people when they call you or email you. Just say, hi, tell me more about your interest. Are you qualified? Have you spoken to a lender? Are you ready? Are you working with a real estate agent? People will still show up with a real estate agent sometimes, even though you have chosen not to hire a real estate agent. Don't think that they might not show up with the realtor. So you need to know all the information and understand what you're dealing with before you even agree to a showing. Now, showings are really important when you sell without a real estate agent. We know how to safely show properties. We do it for a living. But if you're going to do it without a real estate agent, which is fine, make sure that all your valuables, your firearms are locked away, and make sure, of course, your children are safe. I do not recommend children be present for showings. I just don't think that's a wise move. Make sure that you show it with another person if you're nervous. If there's something that bothers you about being in that house alone and showing the property, have a buddy with you, right? And I do not recommend you ever let anybody show your property or come to your property without you being present to marshal them through, or having like a friend do it, or somebody that you trust to show it. I do not recommend open houses when you show privately off the market. I do not recommend that you show to multiple groups at one time. It should be one showing at a time when you can be with them, walk with them, make sure. Another thing people forget that seems innocent is when they don't clean out their medicine cabinets. Like, some people have prescription drugs for a reason. And there are plenty of people that, under the guise of open houses or coming to see property, they will just say, oh, I need to use the restroom, and go into your property and look into your cabinets and things like that. So don't be surprised if somebody wants to open a drawer and look. I've seen it all. It's important that you don't promise anything verbally. Trust me on this. You do not want to promise anything verbally. You want to protect yourself by even saying things like, now, this is just for discussion purposes. Please do not consider this a contract point, but let's discuss this, right? I would be very careful to not promise anything verbally. And if you're going to really start getting serious, I think you need to get it in writing. And getting things in writing can be very tricky. It's driven by your state law. Okay. And text messages, you got to be careful with text messages, and you have to be careful with emails. So I always say, don't sign anything. Don't sign anything. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to tell you when you sign here in a moment. But don't sign anything. Everything is just for discussion purposes. So much, in fact, that if you do sign something, make sure that it explicitly says the offer is non-binding. This is a non-binding document. Neither party can be bound to this agreement. This is just for discussion purposes only. If you don't have that on there, you may be binding yourself into a legal contract. I can tell you right now, in the state of South Carolina, where I'm recording this message, I could pull out a napkin from my dinner table and we could both agree to one thing and sign it in the purposes of real estate, and we would have a legally binding contract. So be careful on what you do. And when you get to the place that it's time to entertain offers, counter offers, whatever you're going to do, please have a real estate attorney that is comfortable and professional and experienced with real estate transactions in the state that you are present, to make sure that they review anything before you signed it. Now, some states don't close real estate transactions with attorneys. They're called title states. You better know what's going on in your state and you better operate accordingly. But that doesn't mean that there's not an attorney in your state that's very familiar with real estate transactions, either supervising title companies. Make sure that you have an attorney on your team and be okay with paying them. Ask them what their fee is. They're protecting you and they're going to keep you from getting sued if you do it right. State to state, the laws apply. Now, once you sign a legally binding contract, please have some honor and understand that you have legally prepared and executed a contract, meaning everybody has signed, ratified, and agreed. And you better do what the contract says as exact, okay? Do what it says. And if something is hard to interpret and you don't know exactly what the language says, call your attorney for any little question that comes up, because you do not want to regret this later. It's very important to measure twice and cut once before you proceed with this. And then never, ever, ever give wiring instructions to anyone except the attorney that is engaged and working for you. Okay, there is a tremendous amount of wire fraud that is taking place these days. And I've seen these emails and you wouldn't believe how legitimate they look. It almost looks like sometimes it could be coming from your own attorney. That's why you want to pick up the phone, verbally verify, hi, did you send me something for my wire? And is this the link? And is this the software that you use to do it? And in all cases, if you are uncomfortable, take your wire instructions physically to the attorney if you're working with someone local in your market. And then if everything goes well, yay, close. That's a number 18, very exciting there. And the best part is you get to smile and take your money and get excited about that. And then my last recommendation is, hey, if you enjoyed it, maybe consider becoming a realtor. If you hated it, next time hire a realtor, because it's a lot more work than people think. But I just want you to be safe and I want you to be protected, because I can tell you that's a call to the public as a realtor. I'm a realtor, I'm a broker in charge. That's our call. Whether you're selling with us or not selling with us, we want to see you be protected, okay? And we understand that markets sometimes move quickly, and an agent may not be able to help you, or you may not want an agent to help you. I respect that. I've sold properties years and years ago by myself before I had real estate agents. I totally get that. And I'm an entrepreneur and I love that spirit. But the big pitfalls I see when you don't work with someone is you don't really understand the market value. And if you're not going to pay for appraisal, you're kind of making up rules. And then if you don't use a legal attorney and if you don't use an agent, and that's fine, agreements is where people get in trouble. So please be safe, do your best. Hey, if you want to do it and sell for yourself, go for it. Just understand there's a process and a way to do it. And by all means, if you've talked to a real estate agent and you decide not to use them, have some courtesy and call them and say, thank you for your time. The market's hot. I'm going to try this on my own. It's okay. Realtors are good folks, but just let them know. Have a great day.